Hey everybody, welcome to lesson 7. I hope y'all guys had a good and restful weekend, that y'all just had the time to just relax and unwind and just do what you wanted to do. So today we're going to be going over expository essay planning. So this week we're just going to be focusing on our final project, which is of course going to be an expository essay. I'll get more on what exactly that means right about now. So let's get started. So the objective for today is that students will be able to plan an expository essay that answers the question, how do we tell right from wrong, by collecting and analyzing evidence from the texts and organizing ideas. So what is an expository essay? So according to owl.purdue.edu, an expository essay is a genre of essay that requires the student to investigate an idea, evaluate evidence, expound on the idea, and set forth an argument concerning that idea in a clear and concise manner. So to make it a little more simplistic for you guys, I listed out the steps that according to that definition. So of course the first step would be investigate an idea, number 2, evaluate evidence, number 3, expound on or rather advance the idea, and number 4, set forth an argument with the idea. Okay, so here are the first steps to actually planning an expository essay. This is different than the steps we just mentioned right now. This is more when it comes to actually planning before you write your expository essay. So step 1 would be to determine what the prompt is asking me. Number 2, take a position. And number 3, review the texts for, an example or multiple examples. So let's focus more on step 1. So determining what the prompt is asking me. So of course, what I just mentioned in the objective, our question, and this is going to be our question for the expository essay. So our question is going to be, how do we tell right from wrong? So from what I got from this is basically just asking us, how can we tell right and wrong apart from each other? In other words, how are they different? And how can we use at least 2 of the 4 texts we read this summer to help us answer this question? And also, what are some examples and connections between the text and the bigger question? So step 2, take a position. So step 2 would be, of course, taking a position, and my position, I'll say, we can tell right from wrong by asking ourselves, how does this particular choice a character makes exhibit a negative or a positive reaction to an opposing character? In most instances, a negative reaction would mean a wrong choice being made, and a positive reaction would mean a right choice being made. So what I did is I made sure that the position I took is able to be referenced throughout my entire essay. And this statement right here, I can make connections with, and I can provide examples that also connect to the main question, how do we tell right from wrong? So lastly, of course, we want to review the text for an example. So in this example, we're just going to be finding text evidence in Ruthless by William DeMille. Although in your essay, you're going to need examples from at least 2 different texts, 2 of the 4 texts that we've read this summer, but this is just to give you an idea of how to find the best evidence in a text. Okay, so in this case, I'm only going to read until the blue marker, which is going to give us, our evidence from what I've previously found. If you want to pause it and read through the whole thing just for reference, you can do that if you want, but I'm just going to read until the blue marker. So here we go. "Judson," she explained, "you're not taking a drink at 10 o'clock in the morning." "You wrong me, my dear," he chuckled. "I'm not taking anything out of this bottle. I'm merely putting a little kick into it." His closed hand opened as he put upon the table 2 tiny white pellets as he started to uncork the whiskey. Her eyes narrowed as she watched him. She had learned to dread the tone of his voice. It was the tone he used when he was planning to put something over in a business deal. "Whoever broke into my closet last winter and stole my liquor will probably try it again once we are out of here," he went on. "Only this time he'll wish he had it." She caught her breath at the cruel vindictiveness of his manner as one by one he dropped the tablets of the bottle and held it up to watch them dissolve. So notice how I highlighted this little portion right over here. I'll get to this right now. Why exactly I highlighted this quote, and I put the quote into my next slide, so that way you'll understand why I chose this particular quote. So how did I find my text evidence? I found my text evidence by finding the quote that was most relevant to my statement. A negative reaction would mean a wrong choice, and a positive reaction would mean a right choice. And so here's my quote once again. Whoever broke into my closet last winter and stole my liquor will probably try it again once we're out of here, he went on. Only this time he'll wish he hadn't. She caught her breath at the cruel vindictiveness of his manner as one by one he dropped the tablets into the bottle and held it up to watch them dissolve. So we can see here that Judson's words and actions had caused a negative reaction from Marcia, because she caught her breath at the cruel vindictiveness of his manner, just like it was stated in the quote. And so based on the quote that we found in the text, we can make the inference that Judson's decision to poison the whiskey is deemed wrong. Remember, we're going back to our previous statement. A negative reaction would mean a wrong choice, and a positive reaction would mean a right choice. And since this is a negative reaction, we can say that Judson's decision is deemed wrong.